You're listening to the Jōrni Podcast. Trying to get pregnant can be extremely hard on your physical and mental well-being. Find out more about help and support with this journey in today's episode. Hi, I'm Petra Brunbauer, and with decades of experience with sadness, pain, anxiety, and stress, I finally figured out how to leave all that behind. And this podcast shows you how to break free permanently so you can reclaim your sanity and find the self-esteem and energy to go after the life you desire. With real talk about mental health, holistic healing, and the tough journey of coming out the other end. This is the Jōrni Podcast. Welcome to today's episode. I spoke with Sophie Byfield today to talk about the difficult journey of conceiving and how it affects your well-being. Sophie is a fitness, nutrition, and fertility expert who has spent 20 years helping women ditch the diet mentality to create the body they've always wanted. It wasn't until Sophie started her own fertility journey that she experienced how devastating, lonely, and heartbreaking trying to get pregnant could be. With her science and wellness background, Sophie became obsessed with everything about fertility and now helps women who are struggling to conceive get pregnant so they can be the mama their heart calls them to be. If you're struggling to get pregnant, find out how working with a fertility coach can help you in your physical and mental journey. Let's meet Sophie Byfield. Hi, Sophie. It's so great to have you on the podcast. I'm excited to connect with you because I feel this is a really important topic for many listeners. Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Fantastic. Can you share a little bit about yourself and why you are passionate about what you do?
So, I am a fertility expert. I have been in the health and wellness industry for the last 20 years. Don't tell anybody because it might age me, but I've been in this industry for 20 years. And for myself personally, being a nutritionist and a fitness expert, it wasn't until I went through my own fertility journey that I realized how dark and lonely this world is. And I dove into it and just started learning everything I could, applied my nutritionist, my fitness, my wellness background, and was like, I don't want any other woman to ever feel like I did going through this process. So I started my business, Fertility Coach Sophie, and I've been helping women ever since kind of navigate the world of fertility, build healthy bodies so they can get pregnant. It's near and dear to my heart. I love it so much.
Mhm. It sounds like this is a topic that affects a lot of women, despite what we might hear out there publicly. As you mentioned, it can also be a very dark place. So, if you could change one thing about your industry, what would that be?
Ooh, well, that's a really good question. So it affects about 1 in 4 women, and we don't talk about it. The one thing I would change is opening up the conversation. You go through it by yourself, and there's so much shame surrounding it. I would love for society to start talking about it, for women to start talking about it so that they're not alone.
I mean, 1 in 4 women, that's a quarter of women. That's a lot. I didn't
It's
know that.
Yeah, it's a lot. And it's scary because that means if you look at your inner circle, 1 out of 4 of them is suffering with some sort of infertility or struggles to conceive.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. And I mean, that leads into a little bit of what I would like to discuss next. And that is why community and support are so important in the fertility world. Would you like to say a little bit about that?
Yes, going through my journey alone and in the darkness, not sharing it with my friends, my family, and I didn't tell my mom until it was later on. When I started building my circle of community, I started sharing what I was going through. I had friends that I had no idea share as well. And once we sat down and had a conversation, and really dug into what our experiences were with fertility clinics and going through the process, it's when I felt supported and understood. And from there, my business specifically is built on building that sisterhood of inner support, because people don't understand what you're going through until you're truly going through it. And we really focus on bringing down the anxiety, breathing techniques, as well as meditation to help center those feelings of anxiety and those feelings of overwhelm so that you can live your life and go through the journey and the journey doesn't consume you.
Wow. That is something I didn't even think about either because it is not talked about a lot. How many women are going through this in silence and are not even sharing this even with their families, their close families like yourself. And then they're all by themselves, even though there are so many other women out there that they connect with that are going through the same thing. So this is a great, great thing that you are offering for women here is that community and that support so they can connect into that. Now, when you work with your clients, what is the biggest challenge that you face and how are you tackling some of those challenges that come up?
The biggest challenge is the internet, believe it or not. There's so much misinformation out there concerning infertility. Someone will come to me and say, well, my friend ate pineapple cores for 3 weeks and got pregnant, or someone ate pints and pints of raspberries to increase their fertility. And debunking that, demystifying it, and kind of getting to the root of the science behind it. And then I would say the second thing is people's openness and willingness to sort of connect with the universe or spiritual powers and learning how to center and meditate and connect into that abundance and sort of manifest their a miracle towards them. It's hard sometimes for people to let go of the web that they've been in and really feel into the meditative spiritual side to growing their miracle.
And is that something that you include in the fertility journey? Do you include meditation and yoga to help someone trying to conceive?
Yes. So I'll start with the yoga because it's the easiest topic. When
Mhm.
we touch on yoga, it's about centering the body and slowing down the storm. So, stress, nutrition, exercise all have a huge impact on fertility. By going into yoga, we get our breathing, we bring our anxiety down, we move our body. The reason why we want to move our body is we want to bring blood and nutrients to our womb. So, exercise is an important part of fertility. Meditation is the opposite side to your stress. So, bringing those anxieties, those feelings of overwhelm, the darkness, the heartache, the pain, centering yourself and actually allowing yourself to feel through what you're going through to bring yourself back to center. We also implement journaling as well as a tool. For some people, it's too much to feel through the meditative process in the beginning. So, we start with step one, which is journaling and just getting it out of their body. A lot of us in the fertility world, you push your feelings down, you put a smile on your face, and you just keep going. So these are the tools that we use to kind of bring some of this stuff to the surface so that it's not as heavy.
Mhm. That's great advice. And is there anything else that you would tell somebody who's trying to get pregnant? One piece of advice or something that they should start with?
Mm. One piece of advice or something that they should start with. I would say start with going to your doctor and getting your labs run. A lot of people have been trying for years, but have never actually got their blood work done. And it can be a simple fix. The second thing I would suggest is reach out to a fertility expert. Sometimes doctors don't know all the new science in that particular realm because they know other things, they specialize in other things. And the last thing that I suggest you do is really, really, really reach out to a fertility coach and build your community, or what I like to call your inner circle, and have people that you can lean on in the dark days and in the dark times. Again, you don't know what the journey is until you're going through the journey. And my mission, my goal, my passion is to make sure no one ever feels that darkness and that loneliness. So find your inner circle, and that could be your circle of 4 close friends. That could be a community or a group of women that are going through it together. But find that support and build your community.
Mhm. As you mentioned, you are a fertility coach. So, can you explain some of the services that you offer so listeners can get a feel for how they could connect with you in their healing journey or what that would look like to work with a fertility coach?
Yeah. So I offer 2 main services. One is the community where we work as a community, our inner circle of
Mhm.
sisterhood. Every month I provide lessons and materials on 5 key pillars in fertility. And those 5 key pillars are stress, supplements, nutrition, exercise, and healing. So we sit down, we work on one of those together as a group. You get meal plans, nutrition support to get the most fertile body possible. The other way I work with clients is one on one. And in that one on one coaching, it's a 4-month program where we dig into your fertility. I'm going to look at your whole life and those 5 key pillars and where we can adjust things to get you the most fertile as possible so we can get you pregnant. My goal for 2022 is 5 more babies, and my goal for 2023 is 20 more babies. So just helping women to conceive and create the healthiest body possible in the one-on-one practice, and then the community and support in the membership.
Mm. That is a lot of babies. I really hope that that will happen for this year and next year. And the women that work with you get to have those amazing experiences. Now, you and I talked a little bit before about what the fertility journey can actually cost if you decide to go the route with a doctor, for example. So, considering that women have to spend that amount of money to get pregnant sometimes, would you recommend that any woman who is having trouble conceiving first try to work with a fertility coach?
100%. So, depending on what country you're in, fertility treatments, so anywhere from IUI or IVF, and IUI is sort of assisted. I would like to say the turkey baster method is I like to keep it nice and simple. And then IVF is more medically assisted, where we're taking the eggs
Mhm.
out of the body. So we're looking at anywhere from $20,000 to upwards of $80,000, depending on what country you're in.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
yeah, it hurts. It does.
That's
It
a
really
lot of money.
does. I suggest that you work with a fertility expert, fertility coach, fertility specialist first for 2 reasons. One, once we dig into your health and your body, we can give you supplements, nutrition, or meal plans, exercises to get your body to a very fertile state at fraction of the cost. From there, if you don't get pregnant with your nutritional specialist or your fertility specialist, I apologize. If you don't get pregnant with them, your egg quality is in the best form and shape in order for you to get pregnant if you have to go the other medicated routes, doctor assisted routes. So, egg quality is one of the most important factors in fertility. And a lot of women don't know that. A lot of women are getting pregnant later in life. We've put our careers first, which is amazing, but our egg quality has diminished significantly. What that means, it's abnormal eggs won't fertilize as well. With nutrition, diet, and exercise, we can improve that egg quality, and you can get pregnant either naturally or easier with medically assisted and save more money. So I suggest, and maybe I'm a little biased here, but you
Well,
work with the
okay.
right? You work with a fertility coach first to improve that egg quality. So no matter what route you end up going, you are saving more money.
Right. There is a mental health component to this journey as well, because this can weigh very heavily on women, especially if they don't have anybody to talk to about this. There's a lot of stress and anxiety involved if you find out that you are not getting pregnant and that is what you're waiting for month after month after month. So, how does working with a fertility coach help these mental health issues that might crop up as you're trying to get pregnant?
Mm. The mental health struggles and challenges that happen when you get pregnant or when you're trying to get pregnant, the fertility coach and your community knows what you're going through. And we also have the resources to refer you to a psychologist or a therapist that is dealing with fertility as well. So, what we do is we start with meditation, journaling. You have your sisterhood to lean on and support you who understand what you're going through. But if it starts to become dark and despair, we do connect you with a therapist or social worker just to help you get through that next little chunk, that next little piece. Because month after month, when anti-flow shows up, it can really destroy you. And the feelings of not good enough, the feelings of darkness, loneliness, your partner may not understand. The feeling of not feeling like a woman or that this is the one thing your body's supposed to do and it can't, those can all overwhelm you. So, we really do believe in if you're having a dark time, you do have what we call 911 calls where you can lean on the community support. We can jump on a quick Zoom call if you need support in that moment as well. We can refer you out if you so choose.
Wow, that sounds amazing what you're doing. And it sounds like that really needs to be part of every woman's fertility journey, to be honest. Now, you brought up an important part in there, and that was also that when women can't share this with their families, how does this affect their partners? And do you work with partners of women trying to get pregnant as well? And if so, how do you involve them in this process of fertility coaching?
So, partners are hard. If it's a male partner, then we tend to refer to our male counterparts because as a woman, I don't understand their perspective of the journey. I
Mhm.
can speak to my husband. There was one time in our journey where his best friend got pregnant and he asked me to attend the baby shower. And I was like, I can't go. I just got my period. It was too overwhelming. I cannot go to this baby shower. And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go." And I turned and was like, "Are you okay with this?" Like, and not with them being pregnant, but with the whole situation. And he said to me, "They're my best friends, so I'm just gonna shut it off and I'm gonna go and support." But I also experienced feelings of I want kids too. And it was the first time that I had actually seen him put his veil down. So partners are experiencing emotions overwhelm, but they're being strong for us. So if you can have a conversation with your partner and ask them how they're feeling and tell them that there's supports out there for them, that may be the world for them. I told my husband he ain't interested at all.
That
But
could happen too.
right? But what it's done is it's opened up the dialogue for us so we can have deeper conversations and support each other in a different way.
I almost think that it would be much easier for women if their partners were to become part of their fertility journey, because then you can share that pain and you can share that anxiety together. So the support, I think, would be great. But I also understand that it is hard on the partners. They may be in the same situation and not have anybody to talk to and not really know how to talk to people about that, because it's not actually them going through the fertility challenges, and yet they're part of that disappointment every month when the partner's not pregnant. So I think from both sides, it could be a very difficult situation.
100%. And something that people don't often talk about is the mental strain on men when trying to conceive. Women have like a 36-hour window. It's more than that, but 36 hours when the egg is viable within the uterus. And you need your husband to quote unquote perform during that time. And by putting that pressure on him, on your partner, it can lead to, lack of performance. One of the courses or one of the lessons units in our course is how to keep sexy time fun. Because when you're trying to conceive, sexy time becomes very mechanical.
Yeah.
It's no longer fun.
Imagine that. Yes, like, that could be a little bit unfun if you're trying to schedule this out and put it in the calendar, put the timer on. Yeah, that could become difficult.
Exactly, exactly. So there is a component for the partner, and I'm speaking male specifically,
Mhm,
who where the work is no longer fun, and then they put pressure on themselves, and it can lead to them not performing. So there is two sides to the coin. If you determine that is a struggle and sexy time is no longer fun, I would suggest pausing, going on dates, bringing back intimacy, like sitting down, looking at each other, having conversations, and
mhm.
kind of build up to it. But it puts a lot of pressure on the woman because she's like, it's my window. Why the heck are you not ready to go? So,
Mhm. Exactly. So, there's a lot of pressure on both sides to come together and make that work, that's for sure.
exactly. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, but I'm glad that we can talk about this very openly and that we can, in a way, find a little bit of humor in it, even though this is a very serious topic, because there's already so much pressure and tension involved in trying to get pregnant that I think putting it out there and talking about it, shining a light on it and saying, hey, these are some of the troubles that everyone going through this is experiencing is really, really important.
It's keeping it light while knowing the darkness is the way that we keep moving forward. I just finished speaking with a client and she wanted to get her eyebrows microbladed, but she was waiting for her period to come to see if she was pregnant. She had stopped living her life. Her period would come, she'd go get her eyebrows done, and then she'd wait and she'd wait. And one of the key components to the inner circle or working together is understanding that for the fertility journey can consume your life. It is a dark, lonely place. It is hard, but you still need to live because for some women, it does take 3, 4, 10 years to get pregnant. And if you're not going to birthday parties or enjoying your life or afraid that if you have dairy ice cream, that you're going to harm your body and your child and you stop living, it makes it 10 times harder. So we try to keep it light. We try to keep it as just one cobblestone in your big roll of life, your big road of life.
Mhm. That's a great way to look at that. Thank you so much for explaining all of that and going over the various facets of the fertility journey. I really appreciate that. For our listeners, we will be linking to all of Sophie's offerings in the show notes so that if you feel aligned, you can contact her directly and speak to her about your fertility journey. Well, this has been another incredible episode, and I hope our listeners have found value in this journey into the challenges of fertility. I'm sure there are many women who can unfortunately relate to this, and it has been so great talking with you and really shining a light on a topic that women often struggle with silently. So, thank you so much for your time and knowledge, Sophie.
Thank you so much for having me. If you are struggling, please, please reach out for support. There are people out there who can help you. Don't do this alone.
Yes, that's really, really important, not just for the fertility journey, but for a lot of issues that women are dealing with at the moment. So make sure you reach out, get the support, and then you can work from there to move forward on your healing journey.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, Sophie, and take care.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen in. If you enjoy the Jōrni Podcast, please subscribe, share on social media, and leave us a review. And be sure to get your copy of our brand new ebook called Break Free. Sending you love and courage, and see you next week. Until then, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and the Jōrni blog.